So this creature here, the Bulette, is basically a mix of a snapping turtle, an armadillo, and is cutely nicknamed a land shark, which is where I'm going to start this redesign. Now the whole reason I wanted to do this build in the first place was because when I was looking for some interesting sharky inspiration, I stumbled across this thing. Helicoprion, an extinct species of fish that's basically what you get if you gave a shark a buzzsaw for a mouth. Now I had this prehistoric base to build on, I started adding some more turtley details, like covering the top half of his head in a tough shell, giving him some spiky eyebrow ridges and some spiky nostrils. That, when I added, kinda made him look like a sea devil from Doctor Who. Remember the days when that show was good? Anyway, I covered some turtle shell-like detail into the top of the head, which is basically a bunch of elongated hexagons next to each other. But I still needed to texture the lower half of the head, and because I didn't want to spend millions of years carving individual scales, I decided to make myself a texture tool. All you need is a piece of wire, some clay on top, and you need to poke the inverse of the texture you want to be rolled on into the clay. Boom! And just like that you got yourself a convenient little time saver, but I still needed to make this thing's teeth. With the teeth in place, I could finally call the head done, but looking back, I kind of wish I gave it a bit of a pointier shape. But it's too late for any of that now, we still gotta make the rest of him. And I have a really simple method for making reptilian bodies. All you need to do is add tons of belly rolls. Seriously, that's it. It's pretty effortless and it actually looks quite convincing. Well, unless you're making some 2% body fat Shredosaurus Rex, in which case you might want to make yourself a leaner lizard. Actually, I did forget to mention the final step of this process, which is to cover the entire thing in scaly texture. Man, this tool is convenient. And although I could have covered the entire thing in scales, I'm only really worrying about the underside for now, because the top half is going to be covered in a shell, for which I'm going to use my handy shell making recipe. And boom! Just like that you got yourself a lovely shell with the segments of an armadillo and the texture of a turtle. And with that done and dusted, the only thing I've got left to make are his bull legs. Bulette legs. Not bull's legs, but bulette legs. No? Well. Now, if you're a long-term rust monster enthusiast, you might notice that I'm making the legs slightly differently here, and that's because I couldn't find the thinnest armature wire I had and had to make the fingers out of blobs of clay instead. Which is pretty fiddly and annoying, but not as fiddly and annoying as trying to apply texture to these things. Like, how are you supposed to... Because like when you put your fingers on it, you cover it up and... there must be an easier way. And there is. You can use your clippers to clamp the thing in place while you apply texture, which saves you hassle and trains your grip strength. And since I was using this epic 10 out of 10 amazing life hack, I also took this opportunity to texture the fingers just to get a bit more detail. But with that detail added, all that was left was to assemble the Bulette.